The night was heavy with silence, the kind of silence that felt alive, as if the shadows themselves were holding their breath. A human traveler, weary from the long journey, walked slowly across the barren ground of a strange planet. The sky above him glowed with two pale moons, their light falling on the ruins of an ancient city that had been forgotten by time. His boots crunched against the cracked stone, every sound echoing like a whisper in the still air. He had no map, no guide, only instinct and the strange pull that had drawn him here. Then, without warning, he saw her. She stood beside a broken pillar, a figure both strange and beautiful, her silver hair flowing like a river of light in the cold night wind. Her skin shimmered faintly, not like any human skin he had ever seen. Her golden eyes were fixed on him, glowing softly as if lit from within. She was not armed, yet there was something in her presence that made the air heavy. She raised her hand slowly, and in it was a cup shining, glowing with a strange liquid that looked alive, swirling as though it had a heartbeat of its own. The human froze. His hand instinctively touched the sidearm at his belt, but something in her gaze stopped him. She was not an enemy. She was something far more complicated. Her voice carried across the ruins. Soft but commanding, the kind of voice that made the night itself listen. "If you drink this, you will never be human again." The words hung in the air like a blade. The traveler blinked, unsure if he had heard her correctly. Never be human again. What kind of drink could strip away something so deep? He took a step closer, his curiosity stronger than his caution. The liquid inside the cup glowed brighter as he approached, casting strange lights across the ruined walls. It was not water, not wine, not anything natural. It looked like liquid fire, silver and blue, moving as though alive. "Why are you giving this to me?" he asked. His voice was steady, but his heart raced. The alien woman did not move. She kept holding the cup in front of her, both hands trembling slightly. "Because the choice must be yours," she whispered. "Once it passes your lips, there is no return. You will lose the life you know, the body you were born with, the world that shaped you. You will never again be human." The human frowned. Searching her eyes, he saw fear there, but not for herself. No, she was afraid for him, and beneath that fear was something else, something that looked like sorrow. "Why me, cute?" His voice echoing in the stillness. "Why bring this to me?" Her lips trembled as she spoke. "Because only you can decide. My people are forbidden to drink it, and yours would never dare. You stand at the edge of two worlds, and the path forward depends on you. But once you choose, the choice will bind you forever." The wind swept through the ruins, carrying her words like a warning carved in stone. The human's eyes drifted to the cup again. The liquid shimmered, glowing stronger, as though it wanted to be touched, as though it was waiting for him. His throat felt dry, and his hand twitched unconsciously toward it. The alien stepped forward quickly, her golden eyes wide with desperation. "Stop," she pleaded, her voice breaking for the first time. "You do not understand. If you drink this, you will never be human again. You will become something else, something neither my kind nor yours. The galaxy will see you as cursed, hunted by both sides. You will not belong to them, nor to yourself." The traveler stared at her, her words sinking into him like arrows. Yet instead of fear, he felt something else rising in his chest: curiosity, a hunger he could not explain. What could be so powerful that it erased the very nature of humanity? What could be so dangerous that even this alien woman, who seemed stronger than steel, looked terrified to speak of it? Her hands shook more violently now, the cup rattling as if resisting her grip. The glow from the liquid spilled across her pale skin, making her look both holy and haunted. "You must promise me," she whispered. almost like a prayer. "Promise me you will not drink it." But the human did not answer. He studied her face, her trembling lips, her fearful eyes, and something inside him shifted. She wanted to protect him, but she was hiding something. She was not telling him everything, and he needed to know the truth, no matter the cost. The silence stretched long between them, the moons hanging overhead like watchful eyes. Finally, the human stepped forward, closing the distance between them. The alien gasped, clutching the cup tighter, as if she could keep it from him. But her strength was failing, her arms trembling. He stopped just a breath away from her, his gaze locked on hers. Then, with a voice steady as iron, he said, "I am not afraid." Her golden eyes widened in horror, the words striking her like a blade. She shook her head violently, silver hair whipping across her face. "You fool," she cried. "You don't know what you're saying," but it was too late. The human reached out his hand, his fingers brushing against the glowing cup, and the moment his skin touched it, the world around them seemed to tremble. The glowing cup shook in the alien woman's trembling hands, its strange light spilling across the cracked stones. The human's fingers brushed against it, and the liquid inside pulsed brighter, as if alive. She gasped and pulled it back, her golden eyes filled with terror. "Do not touch it," she begged, her voice cracking like fragile glass. "You cannot begin to understand what it will do to you." But the human did not step back. He stood firm, his gaze locked on the shimmering liquid, his mind caught between fear and curiosity. He had faced storms, hunger, battles with men who carried blades and guns, but never before had he seen something that felt alive without breathing. His instincts told him this cup was dangerous, yet those same instincts told him that danger was exactly why he had to know the truth. "Why give me a warning?" he asked slowly. "If you already know, I will not walk away." The alien looked at him as though he were mad. "Because, once you drink, there is no going back. You will not wake tomorrow as the man you are today. You will not be welcomed by your own kind, nor mine. The stars themselves will curse you." Her voice dropped lower, trembling like a whisper in the dark. "And still, something inside you will never stop craving more." Her words struck him like waves against a rock, but his resolve only hardened. He was human, yes, but he had always felt the weight of being just human. Fragile, limited, small compared to the vastness of the galaxy. Maybe this was his chance to break free, to step into something greater than flesh and bone. The alien woman stepped closer, so close he could see the faint glow of veins beneath her shimmering skin. Her face softened, sorrow replacing her fear. "You remind me of someone," she whispered, her eyes wet with unshed tears. "He too stood where you stand. He too reached for the cup, and I buried him with my own hands." The human's heart skipped a beat, her confession hung heavy in the night air. This was not a story told to frighten him. This was truth carved in her pain. For a moment he almost faltered, but then his hand clenched at his side, his jaw tightening. If another had fallen, perhaps he would rise. Maybe he was not strong enough, the traveler said quietly. "But I am not him." Her eyes widened in shock. Strength is not the answer. This is not about strength, it is about surrender. Once you drink, the man you know, the man you are, will cease to exist. Do you understand? You will belong to something older than empires, older than galaxies. You will belong to it. She lifted the cup once more, the liquid swirling like a storm caught in glass. The glow painted her sorrowful face, and her voice broke as she whispered, "And it will never let you go." The silence stretched, broken only by the sound of wind rushing through hollow ruins. The moons above watched silently, casting their pale light on the two figures locked in a moment that would decide fate. The human stared at the cup, his mind burning with questions he could not silence. What was this liquid? Why had it been left here, waiting? And why, despite her warnings, did it call to him like destiny? He stepped forward again. This time, she did not move back. She simply closed her eyes, as if preparing herself for something she could not stop. His voice was calm, but inside, fire raged. I have lived as a man. I have fought as a man. Have bled as a man. But if I must give that up to know what lies beyond, then so be it. Her golden eyes snapped open, shining with horror and grief. She shook her head slowly. You are either the bravest fool I have ever seen or the last hope I have left. For a heartbeat, neither moved. The world seemed frozen, the ruins holding their breath. The knight leaning closer to listen. Then, without fear, the human reached out again. His fingers wrapped around the cup, and this time she did not resist. Her hands trembled as she let it go, surrendering the glowing vessel into his grasp. The warmth of it seared his palm, but he did not flinch. The liquid swirled violently now, as if aware it had found its new master. He raised it slowly, the glow painting his face in silver and blue. His heartbeat thundered in his ears, yet his voice was steady as steel. I am not afraid. The alien let out a broken cry, her knees nearly giving way. No, please. But her plea was drowned out by the sound of liquid fire sliding past his lips. The drink burned like molten stars as it entered him, and the ground beneath them began to shake. The choice had been made. Asterisk the moment the glowing liquid slid down his throat. The human's body convulsed. It was as if fire and ice struck him at the same time. His knees buckled, and he dropped the cup, which shattered into dust the instant it hit the ground. The sound echoed through the ruins, sharp and final, like the closing of a door that could never be opened again. The alien woman rushed forward, catching his shoulders before he could collapse fully. Her golden eyes were wide with terror. I told you no human survives this without changing, she whispered, her voice trembling. You have opened the path, and it will not show mercy. The traveler gasped for air, his chest rising and falling violently. His veins glowed beneath his skin, lines of blue and silver spreading across his arms like rivers of light. Every heartbeat felt like an explosion inside his chest. His vision blurred, splitting into two, then three, as if the world was being pulled apart. He cried out, gripping the ground as if to hold himself together. His nails dug into the stone, breaking and bleeding, yet the blood that dripped was no longer red. It shimmered faintly, glowing as it touched the earth. The alien woman held him tightly, though her body shook. She whispered in her own language, words he did not understand, but felt deep inside his bones. Her voice was desperate, a prayer too. Gods long forgotten. The fire inside him grew hotter, and his scream tore through the night. The ruins seemed to answer, their broken walls vibrating as though they recognized what was happening. The moons above dimmed behind shifting clouds, and the ground trembled like a beast awakening. Fight it, she begged. Do not let it. Take everything. Hold to who you are, hold to your name. Her words reached him faintly through the storm in his mind. He tried to focus on his name, on the memories of his childhood, on the face of his mother, on the battles he had fought. But each memory slipped away like sand through fingers. In their place came visions, not his own. He saw stars burning, thousands of them, not through human eyes, but through something greater. He felt the cold of space press against skin that was no longer human flesh. Now, he saw beings of light Talion, ancestors perhaps staring at him with eyes that burned like suns. Their voices thundered in his head, overlapping in languages he did not know. Yet their meaning was clear. You are chosen. The words reverberated inside him, not spoken, but carved into his soul. his body twisted. Muscles tearing and then repairing themselves stronger, bones reshaping. Skin glowing with strange patterns that moved as though alive, his hands clenched into fists, and the stone beneath them cracked like glass. The alien woman cried out as she felt the shockwave ripple through the ground. She gripped his face, forcing him to look at her. "Stay with me. Do not lose yourself to them. Do not become only their weapon." He stared into her golden eyes, and for one fragile moment he remembered himself. The pain lessened, though the power inside him still surged wildly. His breathing slowed, heavy but steady. And then, silence fell. The glow on his skin dimmed, settling into faint. Swirling patterns that looked like ancient tattoos etched by the stars themselves. His eyes opened, and the woman gasped because they were no longer only human eyes. They shone faintly, silver and blue, as if reflecting the galaxy itself. He rose to his feet slowly, his movements sharp, controlled, yet unnatural in their strength. The ground cracked under his weight, though he felt lighter than ever before. The wind swirled around him, carrying sparks of energy that clung to his body like fireflies. "What have I become?" he whispered, his voice deeper, resonating strangely. As if more than one voice spoke through him, the alien woman shook her head, tears sliding down her face. "Not human," she said softly, "and not one of us. Something in between. Something that should not exist." He looked at his glowing hands, flexing his fingers slowly. The world seemed sharper, every sound clear, every movement around him visible. He could hear the heartbeat of the woman in front of him, could feel the shifting of creatures in the ruins, could even sense the distant hum of ships in the sky. Power filled him, but along with it came a terrible hunger, a need that gnawed at the edge of his mind. He clenched his fists to keep control, his body trembling with effort. The alien woman saw the struggle and placed her hand gently against his chest. "This is the price," she whispered. "You wanted to know what lies beyond being human. You carry it within you. But remember, every gift carries a curse." Her words echoed inside him, colliding with the voices that still whispered from the depths of his blood. He felt torn between who he had been and what he was becoming. But one truth burned stronger than all else: he was no longer just a man. He lifted his gaze to the stars, his glowing eyes unblinking. The galaxy had changed for him, and he had changed for it. And somewhere deep within, something whispered again, "You are ours now." The ruins were silent again, but it was not the silence of peace. It was the silence of fear. The human stood tall, his body glowing faintly, the strange markings on his skin shifting like rivers of light. His breaths came slow, steady, but every inhale carried power, every exhale made the ground quiver. He was not the same man who had arrived in these ruins. The alien woman stepped back, her golden eyes locked on him. Her face was pale, and her lips trembled as though she wanted to speak, but could not. For a long moment, she only watched him, her hands clenched against her chest, her body trembling between awe and despair. Finally, she found her voice. "It has chosen you," she whispered, almost too softly to hear. The human turned toward her, his silver blue eyes shining in the moonlight. "What is this? What did you make me drink?" His voice echoed strangely, as though layered with another tone, ancient and heavy. Her shoulders shook. She closed her eyes for a moment, then opened them again, her gaze filled with sorrow. "It was not just a drink," she said slowly. "It was a seed. A living essence passed down from an age when my people were not as you see them now. It carries the blood of those who came before us, the first beings. They were older than empires, older than even the stars as you know them." Her words sank into him like cold water. He stared at his glowing hands, the strange energy humming beneath his skin, and now it's inside me. She nodded, tears shimmering in her eyes. Yes, it has bound itself to you. No human has ever carried it and lived, yet here you stand. Do you not see? This was not chance. This was destiny. He clenched his fists, shaking his head. Destiny, you warned me not to drink it. You said it would end me. Her voice cracked. Because it has ended everyone before you. I begged you to stop because I have seen what it does. My brother drank it. He was strong, proud, certain of himself just like you. But the seed inside him burned, too bright. It consumed him until nothing human and nothing alien remained. When the voices grew too loud, he lost himself and I had to end his suffering with my own hands. The human froze, her confession cutting through him like a blade. He could see the truth in her golden eyes, the deep scars carved into her soul. Her warning had not been a threat, had been a desperate plea to spare him from the same fate. For a moment, silence hung heavy between them. Then he looked down at his hands again, flexing his fingers, feeling the strength thrumming within. But I survived, he said firmly. I am still me. Her lips trembled as she shook her head. For now, she whispered. But you are no longer just yourself. The seed carries a memory, a will. It is more than power, it is hunger. It will test you, push you, whisper to you. And if you are not careful, it will consume you as well. He looked up at her, his glowing eyes burning with resolve. Then I will not let it win. For the first time, her gaze softened. She studied him, the determination in his face, the fire that refused to bow. A part of her wanted to believe him, but the fear still lingered. You do not understand, she said. The galaxy will not welcome you now. My people will call you cursed. Yours will call you a monster. No world will accept what you have become. His voice was calm, but strong. Then I do not need their welcome. I need only the truth. Her breath caught. She had not expected such words. Slowly, she nodded, lowering her hands. Very well, you deserve to know. The truth is, this what you carry is not just a burden. It is a key. The first beings created it to guard something hidden, something no empire has ever found. That is why both sides fear it, why they would rather see it destroyed than see it awaken. The human's chest tightened. A key to what? Her golden eyes shimmered as she spoke, her voice heavy with ancient weight. A weapon? Or perhaps salvation? None truly know. But the one who bears the seed can open the way. The ruins around them seemed to darken as her words filled the air. The human felt the whispers inside his mind stir, louder now, pulling him toward some unknown place. He steadied himself, shaking off their weight. So that is why you warned me, he said quietly. Not just because it would change meat, but because the galaxy will come for me. She lowered her gaze, her voice soft as a sigh. Yes, they will hunt you, human. Not because of who you are, but because of what you now carry. The human stood in silence, staring at the stars. For the first time, he understood that his choice was not just about himself. His life, his humanity, had been the price for something far greater, and the galaxy would soon learn that he had paid it willingly. The human stood in the ruins. The silver-blue glow still faint across his skin. His breath was steady now, but the storm inside him had not ended it, had only changed. The whispers in his mind had quieted, yet they never vanished. They sat at the edge of his thoughts like hunters waiting in the dark. The alien woman watched him closely, her golden eyes filled with a sadness she could not hide. She knew what came next. No one could carry the seed without paying a price. He turned to her, his jaw tight. You said it carries a will. I can feel it. It's like something crawling under my skin, waiting for me to lose control. She lowered her gaze. That is the curse, she admitted. Power without cost is a dream. The seed changes you, but it does not stop there. You'll keep taking. Piece by piece, it will try to strip away the man you were. You must fight it, or it will win. He clenched his fists, the glowing marks on his arms pulsing faintly. Then, I'll fight. Her lips trembled. You cannot fight forever. It whispers for a reason. It feeds on your fear, your anger, your desire for more. Every time you use its strength, it will demand something in return. The traveler frowned, staring at his hands. Already, he could feel each heartbeat came with a strange hunger. His senses were sharper, almost painfully so. He could hear. Insects crawling beneath the broken stones could smell the faint iron in her blood, could even feel the slow rotation of the twin moons above. It was too much, too heavy. What does it want from me? He asked. She hesitated, then spoke the words like a blade pressed to her own throat. It wants to make you forget yourself. It wants you to surrender. The more you let it guide you, the less human you will remain. Until one day you will not remember your own name. He froze. That was the price, his identity. His humanity. Not taken in an instant, but stolen slowly, whisper by whisper. Until nothing of him was left. The woman stepped closer, her voice soft but urgent. Already it is inside you. Already it pulls at your soul. Can you not hear it? He closed his eyes. And then, in the darkness of his own mind, he heard them clearly. Voices, dozens, hundreds, maybe more. Some screamed, some whispered, some laughed like broken glass. They spoke in no language he knew, yet he understood them all. You are ours now. Give in. The flesh is weak, the power eternal. He snapped his eyes open, his body shaking as he forced the voices back. Yes, I hear them, he said, through gritted teeth. The alien woman touched his arm gently, though her hand shook. You must anchor yourself. Hold to something that is yours, your name, your memories, your purpose. Without them, you will vanish. Her words carried truth, but truth was not comfort. He realized that every step from now on would be a battle not against soldiers, not against empires, but against himself. The night stretched long, the ruins glowing faintly with the light of his changed body. He sat against a broken wall, trying to calm the storm inside him. The alien woman stayed close, watching, guarding. Though she knew there was little she could do, hours passed, yet the whispers never truly stopped. Sometimes they grew softer, like a distant song. Sometimes they rose like thunder, shaking his mind. Once he even felt his own hand rise without command, fingers tightening as if to strike. He had to fight himself to pull it back down. At last he spoke again, his voice low but sharp. If this is the price, I will pay it, but I will not lose myself, not to them, not to anyone. Her golden eyes shimmered, torn between admiration and fear. Bravery alone may not be enough, she warned. Even my brother thought he could resist. In the end, he begged me to end it for him. And I loved him too much to let him suffer. The human's face hardened, his glowing eyes reflecting the pale moons. Then I will not be him. I will find a way to master this, or I will burn. Trying. The alien lowered her gaze. She wanted to believe him, wanted to see hope where only despair had ever lived. But deep inside, she feared the seed would win again. The ground rumbled faintly, and both of them turned toward the horizon. Distant lights flickered in the sky, ships descending, soldiers gathering. The price was already demanding its weight. For his choice had not gone unnoticed. They are coming, she whispered. He rose to his feet, his new strength humming through him like thunder, waiting to strike. He clenched his fists, the glow on his arms flaring brighter. Then let them. See what their cursed seed has made of me? The whispers inside him laughed, hungry and eager, and the night prepared to bleed. The night sky cracked with light. High above the ruins, dark ships cut across the moons, their engines burning with a cold, cruel glow. They moved like hunters closing in on prey, silent but certain. The alien woman's face turned pale when she saw them, her lips parted in dread. "They have come," she whispered. "My people, they know." The human clenched his fists. His skin glowed faintly, the patterns on his arms shifting like restless fire. The whispers inside him stirred, laughing with hunger, urging him to let go. But he gritted his teeth and forced them back. "How did they find us so fast?" he asked, his eyes never leaving the ships. She shook her head slowly. "The seed is not silent. When you drank it, the echo spread through the stars. They felt it just as I did. To them, you are not a man anymore. You are a threat, and threats must be destroyed." The ships descended lower, casting shadows across the ruins. Engines roared, and the ground shook as armored soldiers stepped out, their weapons glowing with deadly energy. Their armor was black and sharp, their eyes hidden behind masks. Moved with discipline, spreading through the ruins in perfect formation. The human counted them silently. Dozens, maybe more, all armed, all ready to kill. The alien woman grabbed his arm. "You cannot fight them all. You don't understand what they will do." He turned to her, his glowing eyes calm but unyielding. "Then tell me, what will they do?" She swallowed hard. "They will not give you a chance to surrender. To them, you are cursed. They will burn this place, shatter your body, and scatter your ashes into the void. It is the only way they believe the seed can be destroyed." The human's jaw tightened. Then they will learn how wrong they are. The soldiers raised their weapons, beams of light cutting through the night. A voice thundered across the ruins, deep and commanding. "Cursed one, step forward. You do not belong to this world or any other. Surrender now, and your death will be quick." The alien woman shook her head, stepping in front of him. Her golden eyes glowed as she raised her hands. "No," she shouted back. "He is not cursed. He is chosen." The soldiers hesitated for a brief moment, their formation faltering. Then their commander stepped forward, his armor etched with glowing symbols. "Chosen. That word has no meaning. Here, the seed kills everything it touches. You know this, and still you defend him." Her voice broke with desperation. "Because he is different. The seed did not destroy him, it accepted him." The commander's voice turned cold. "That makes him worse. That makes him dangerous." The human stepped past her, his footsteps echoing through the ruins. The soldiers raised their weapons higher, aiming directly at him. But he did not slow down. His eyes glowed brighter with each step, his voice steady, sharp as steel. "I am not afraid of you." The commander raised his arm, and the soldiers fired. Beams of burning energy ripped through the air, striking the ruins with explosions that shook the ground. Dust and fire filled the night, blinding and deafening. The alien woman cried out, reaching for him. But when the smoke cleared, the human still stood. The glowing patterns on his skin pulsed like armor, the blasts deflecting off him as though the ruins themselves had risen to shield him. His fists clenched, and with a roar that shook the air, he slammed one hand into the ground. Cracks ripped through the stone, and a shockwave burst outward, hurling soldiers into the air like leaves in a storm. The alien woman gasped, her hands covering her mouth. She had seen power before, but never like this. Not even the first beings. In the old legends had struck with such force. The soldiers regrouped quickly, shouting commands, their weapons glowing again. But fear lingered in their movements. Their perfect formation had been broken. Their certainty shattered. The whispers in the human's mind laughed louder, urging him to crush them all, to unleash everything, to show no mercy. His breath grew heavier as the hunger pulled at him. His glowing eyes narrowed. But then he heard her voice, soft, desperate, cutting through the storm. "Don't lose yourself. Stay with me." He blinked, steadying himself, pulling back from the edge. The whispers roared in anger, but he forced them down, his fists trembling with the effort. The commander raised his weapon again, shouting, "He cannot control it. End this now." Dozens of weapons lit up, ready to fire. The human stood tall, his glowing patterns burning brighter, his voice carrying across the ruins. "Then come. Let the galaxy see what I have become." The night trembled, the soldiers advanced, and the true battle began. The ruins shook under the clash of power. Energy blasts lit up the night sky, burning holes through broken stone and shattered walls. The soldiers moved like a black tide, their weapons glowing, their voices harsh and cold. Yet the human stood tall among them, glowing brighter with every strike, his body alive with fire that was no longer only his own. He roared, and the sound carried through the ruins like thunder. His fist swung, striking the ground, and another shockwave burst outward. Soldiers were hurled into the air, their armor cracking as they hit the ground. Some rose again, but many did not. Still more soldiers came, pouring from the ships above. Their commander's voice rang out, sharp and cruel. "He cannot be allowed to live. Break him." The human clenched his glowing fists, the strange markings across his skin burning like rivers of light. The whispers in his head grew louder, screaming for blood, urging him to let go. Destroy them, tear them apart. Become more than flesh, become the storm. His chest heaved as he struggled against it. His vision blurred, shifting between himself and something greater, something monstrous. For a moment, he almost surrendered, almost let the hunger consume him. Then he felt a hand. The alien woman was there, standing beside him, her golden eyes filled with fire. She touched his arm, her voice steady, though her body shook. "Stay with me. Do not let them take who you are." Her words cut through the whispers like light through darkness. He blinked, steadying himself, pulling back from the edge. His voice was rough but clear. "I am not theirs. I am not a weapon. I am me." The soldiers charged again, their weapons firing. The human moved faster than light, weaving through the blasts. His fists struck with the weight of storms, his steps cracking stone beneath his feet. He lifted one soldier with a single arm and hurled him into three more, their armor shattering on impact. The alien woman fought too, her own energy flaring in golden arcs. She struck down those who came too close, but her eyes never left him. She knew the real battle was not against the soldiers, it was inside him. At last, the commander stepped forward, his armor glowing with symbols, his weapon a blade of burning energy. He raised it high, shouting, "You are not a man. You are an abomination." The human's glowing eyes locked on him. His voice carried across the battlefield, steady and unshaken. "No, I am both. I am human and more." They clashed. The commander's blade struck like fire, but the human caught it in his bare hand. The energy seared his skin, yet his grip held firm. With a roar, he twisted, shattering the blade into fragments of light. His other fist struck the commander's chest, sending him crashing into the ruins with the force of an earthquake. Silence fell for a moment. The soldiers froze, their discipline cracking. Their commander lay broken, and before them stood the figure they had called Cursed Life, unyielding, glowing with a power that was terrifying and awe-inspiring. The alien woman stepped closer, her voice trembling but proud. "Do you see now? He's not cursed, he is chosen." The soldiers hesitated, fear spreading through their ranks. Some lowered their weapons. Others fled back toward their ships, unwilling to face him again. The human stood in the center of the ruins, his chest rising and falling, the glow on his skin fading to a faint shimmer. The whispers inside him were still there, but quieter, less certain. He had not defeated them, but he had proven they did not own him. He turned to the alien woman, his silver blue eyes steady. "What happens now?" She looked at him with sorrow and hope woven together. "Now the galaxy will fear you. They will hunt you, but they will also speak your name. You are no longer only a man, you are the bridge between what was and what can be." He looked down at his glowing hands, flexing his fingers slowly. "Then I will use this power to protect, not to destroy." Her golden eyes shimmered. "You may be the first to ever say that, and mean it." The night grew still again. The ships that had not fled lingered in the sky, watching, but they did not descend. They knew the battle was lost. The galaxy would soon carry the tale of what had happened. Here, the man who drank the seed, the man who became more. The human raised his gaze to the stars. The whispers stirred faintly, promising him endless power, endless hunger. But he no longer feared them. He had paid the price. And he had chosen who he would be. He was not just human anymore. He was beyond human, and the galaxy would never be the same.